We finally have a little bit of traction on a feature that I wish Tesla was going into more detail on through a patent they filed, primarily talking about the new seat design in the Cybertruck interior, which is quite a bit different from what we're used to between Model 3s, Ys, S's, and X's. Obviously, they couldn't just slap in those same curvy, basic-looking seats in the Cybertruck because it's so angular and so sharp and so pointy, so of course, you gotta have some pointy seats to go along with that. But through these patents, we're able to see exactly how the middle front row seat folds down, and also from this design it looks like there's some kind of fold out compartment area right in between, which makes a lot of sense because one issue I've always thought of whenever looking at the Cybertruck interior is where do I put my phone? On all Teslas I'm used to having that little wireless charger right beneath the display. Cybertruck might not exactly have that, but the little compartment at the bottom of the center console might provide a lot of storage space, and who knows, maybe a wireless charger or two. That's more speculation on my part, but what's far more interesting to me is the fact that they have this backwards facing image of the second row, which appears to have the same separating line that a traditional SUV would have, just like in Tesla's Model Ys and X's, where that second row can have the right side seat just fold down by itself, or have all the seats fold down flat, which is going to be perfect for accessing the vault. It's actually one of the most fundamental issues I always saw with the Cybertruck camping package they demonstrated, because they have your stovetops coming out the tailgate, and of course you've got these sail pillars on the side. So whenever I looked at that tent image, I was like, how the heck are you supposed to get out of that tent? Are you supposed to crawl over the stove every time you want to get out? You can't really go off the sides, and it's gonna be kind of dangerous to kind of walk down the windshield if that's how you wanted to get out. So making sure that the cabin was accessible through the bed was a pretty important feature, particularly if you're car camping, which I think a lot of people intend to with the Cybertruck given its size, and Teslas are great with camp mode features of like controlling HVAC, and Elon Musk, in response to a tweet a while back about accessing the bed through the cabin, was saying it was worth considering. So it wasn't a confirmation that this was happening, but it certainly alludes to the idea that the Cybertruck is just going to have that much more practicality over all of its electric truck competitors, which, as far as I can tell, F-150 Lightning, Rivian R1T, and even the $113,000 electric Hummer, none of them seem to have much access to the bed from the cab, which, given all of them have fairly small beds, it's probably not too practical to have access directly from the cab anyway. But I think what got a lot of people interested in this feature with the Cybertruck is the fact that the bed doesn't have a flat top like the rest of the electric trucks do. It has kind of an angular design, which means using the vault, it should be easier to enclose your cargo and perhaps even lay a mattress down back there. But there's still a few issues I have with this patent design that I'm hoping Tesla can give us some more information on when Elon does his product roadmap update, hopefully at the next earnings call. So it's great that the second row seats should be able to fold down, but that doesn't mean that when folded down they will be completely flat with the same floor of the bed. That means that if you wanted to put something large in the back of your Cybertruck and the 6.5 foot bed, or who knows, from this updated prototype image, it might be a smaller bed, it might be closer to 5.5 feet or 6 feet, we don't know officially, but you're not going to have like 8 feet of completely flat surface. You're going to have probably around 6 feet of flat bed space, and then you're going to have the seats folded up, unless Tesla makes some easy way for you to pull out the second row entirely, and then you can make really, really good use of the back area, but we don't know for sure if Tesla's going to make that simple or user-friendly to remove. I think of all of Tesla's vehicles to make the seats easy to remove of, the Cybertruck would make a ton of sense, because there's certainly a lot of pickup truck owners out there that are typically not driving with that many other people in the vehicle, but they are driving a lot of cargo, and they need as much space as they can in that back area. And I read your comments. I can see from the last prototype image we saw, many people are concerned about the smaller bed look, but having looked at that footage again, you know, it could be distorted because we're looking at it from a drone flying over the factory, and of course this is not a production model. Elon confirmed that later, saying even the windshield wiper on that prototype is not finalized, so don't act like this is the finalized design quite yet. It's just whatever the latest prototype is. But from looking within that bed, it certainly looks like the higher end part of the vault has less space than the lower end, right? Like the inside of that bed curves inward a ways, which honestly makes me even more curious about this folding second row mechanism and how it's supposed to work. Because at the end of the day, yes, it would be nice if you could like remove that compartment in the second row and have a larger bed or have a larger vault that you can cover and control through the Cybertruck's HVAC and all that, but at the end of the day, where is the vault supposed to travel to cover the bed if all of that area is exposed, right? Like we noticed on this latest prototype, there didn't seem to be a tonneau cover available with it at all. They never toyed around with it. We never saw them accessing it, but from previous patents, we know about where in the Cybertruck the tonneau cover is supposed to roll up and be stored, and I'm just not sure how that cover is supposed to work if you do end up folding down the second row of seats. I think there was a lot of people out there posting these patents thinking that, oh, this is the second row folding down, when in reality, the patent was clearly showcasing the middle seat in the front row folding downwards, and only that back angle is really referencing the second row from being capable of folding down. But I don't want to panic here. I don't want to be the deliverer of bad news, but it's very possible that the second row may fold down, but it might just fold down to access a little bit more storage space. It might not necessarily be to access the bed, because you're gonna need some kind of doorway, you're gonna need some kind of gate mechanism in there for the tonneau cover to travel for in order to cover up the bed, unless Tesla wants to decide the tonneau cover is not that crucial of a feature, or perhaps make a more basic design that could be folded up not from the bottom of the truck, but maybe at the top. I'm not sure. Either way, a Cybertruck update of any kind from Tesla would be very much appreciated, because I would love some clarification on how large the bed is going to be. Can the bed be accessed from the cabin, of course, and if so, how is the tonneau cover supposed to travel between, storage and covering up the bed itself? It does make me wonder, with the latest generation Cybertruck design we saw, how the glass roof in the steel goes down over the bed a bit further than the prototype does. Could that be because Tesla intends on there being a glass pane right behind the headrests on the second row, and if you're capable of folding down the second row, where does that little glass window pane go? Is that supposed to fold up into the roof to get out of the way? Is Tesla gonna ditch the rear-facing window entirely, since the Cybertruck rear view screen is using a camera anyway? Does that glass really serve much of a purpose? I guess it would be kind of nice to check on whatever you have in the bed and make sure it's still there, but yeah, there's a lot of really, really tricky engineering challenges I'm sure they're facing with the Cybertruck, and I hope it ends up being worth it in the end, because I'm sure the durability of the exoskeleton and the cost savings of making a truck like this are monumental, especially with the structural pack and all that, but I certainly think the practicality of camping in the Cybertruck or buying a camping package will be severely limited if you're not able to access the cab from the bed, because then you're not going to be able to have this whole kitchen set that folds out unless you plan on stepping over it every time you walk outside the tent. And I hope Tesla's thinking about all these things as we're inching closer and closer to production. So yeah, some overall answers would be helpful, because these patents are just kind of confusing me even more. How can the second row fold flat? At the end of the day, I think what would make life easiest for Tesla and for Cybertruck owners out there is to just make the second row really, really easy to remove. Make it like, just a handful of screws that you can access with a typical socket wrench, and those seats just pop right out, and the wiring can be hidden, and you can just pretend it doesn't exist for trips where you're gonna have 2 people or 3. They can sit in the front row and then have lots more access in the back. You just have to make sure that little tonneau gate cover is clear when you're camping in your Cybertruck every time you want to open and close the vault. You guys have solutions or ideas as how to Cybertruck can be better for camping, and how they can bring HVAC controls to the bed, all that good stuff. Feel free to let me know what you're thinking down below. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting me over on Patreon, hopefully being able to afford a Tesla next year. And to everyone else, thank you just for watching. It seriously makes a difference. Take care. Have a good day.